Have you ever noticed how sometimes small changes in the memory or behavior of someone close to you can go unnoticed, mistaken for simple aging? What many don't know is that behind these seemingly common signs may hide a serious condition that affects millions of people worldwide. Dementia. It's not just occasional forgetfulness or a lapse in attention, but a complex syndrome that gradually compromises memory, thinking, decision-making, and even the way we perform the simplest daily tasks. Although there is still no definitive cure, science has proven that the earlier we identify the signs, the greater the chances of slowing progression and improving quality of life for the patient and their family. It's important to emphasize that dementia can have different causes, with Alzheimer's being the most well-known and common type. But, contrary to popular belief, it's not simply an inevitable consequence of aging. Yes, it's more common in older people, but it can also appear in younger people, especially when there's a family history or risk factors related to heart health, circulation, or even lifestyle. The journey of those facing this condition is full of challenges, but it can also be a path of love, care, and prevention when timely information is available. Therefore, in this video, we'll discuss 10 worrying signs that may indicate dementia or Alzheimer's, and that you should absolutely not ignore. The goal isn't to generate fear, but to raise awareness. Often, changes begin so discreetly that they seem normal, but in fact, they point to something more serious. Knowing how to recognize these symptoms can be the difference between receiving help early or facing serious complications later. Before we delve into the signs, I want you to understand one very important thing. We're not here to diagnose anyone, but to inform. Only a healthcare professional can accurately assess each situation. But if any of these signs appear in your life or the life of someone you love, don't hesitate to seek medical advice. Information is power, and in this case, it can also be care, protection, and life. The first sign that usually appears is difficulty managing money and bills. Often, people who have always been organized with their finances begin to lose track of due dates, forget simple payments, or even make expenses without realizing it. This shouldn't be confused with a passing distraction. It's a repetitive process that begins to compromise financial life and causes concern for family members. Another very common sign is confusion with time and space. The person might get lost in a neighborhood they've always walked around, forget the day of the week, or get ready for appointments on the wrong date. These episodes, when recurring, indicate something beyond simple forgetfulness. Similarly, difficulty finding words or maintaining a conversation can be a warning sign. Communication becomes truncated, with constant repetition, unfinished sentences, and even stories told multiple times in a short period of time. There's also a loss of simple skills, such as buttoning clothes, using cutlery correctly, or handling objects that were always part of their routine. When these signs begin to compound, a person's life becomes increasingly limited, and their independence is threatened. It's not just memory that weakens, but also the ability to live fully and safely. And here I want to open my heart to you. If you've ever noticed similar behavior in someone close to you, don't ignore it. Talking about it can be painful, but it's a loving gesture. Many families believe it's just getting older and end up delaying seeking help, which can delay a diagnosis and compromise care. If you feel this video is bringing clarity and helping you better understand this topic, I invite you to join our community. Subscribe to the channel, turn on notifications, and leave a comment if you've experienced a similar situation or learned something new here today. Each comment is not just an answer, but a bond of care we create together. You are part of this mission to spread information that saves and transforms lives. Another sign worth paying attention to is mood swings. The person may become more irritable, suspicious, anxious, or even depressed, even for no apparent reason. What once brought joy may lose its meaning, and social interactions become increasingly difficult. This change is often not immediately noticeable, but when noticed, it should be taken seriously, as it indicates that brain functions are already being affected. Furthermore, difficulty understanding new information is another concern. The person may have trouble following simple instructions, learning something new, or even understanding a longer conversation. This directly impacts social interactions and professional life, making it increasingly difficult to maintain healthy relationships and carry out routine activities. Spatial disorientation is also a notable sign. Familiar places, such as one's own home or the route to the grocery store, begin to seem unfamiliar. The person may get lost on short journeys or forget landmarks that were previously clear. This situation increases the risk of accidents and requires extra care from the family. Along with this, apathy sets in. Interest in beloved activities, such as hobbies, family gatherings, or even conversations, diminishes. The person begins to prefer isolation, spending more time alone, and this can create an even more painful cycle of loneliness and emotional fragility. These signs, when combined, affect not only the sufferer, but the entire family. It is a call for care, for daily attention, and, above all, for seeking medical care. The loss of the ability to make good decisions is one of the most dangerous signs. A person may cross a busy street without looking, leave the house wearing inappropriate clothing for the weather, or even put themselves in risky situations without realizing it. This impaired judgment makes constant supervision essential. Furthermore, seemingly unrelated problems, such as frequent constipation, may be linked to brain function. Science has discovered a strong connection between the gut and mental health, and studies show that people with dementia or Alzheimer's are more likely to experience this symptom. This is an often overlooked detail, but one that can provide important clues about the overall state of the body. These signs, taken together, show that dementia is a condition that goes beyond forgetfulness and involves the body, mind, and relationships. Recognizing each stage is not only a medical duty, but a gesture of love from the family and society as a whole. And since we've come this far together, I want to reiterate this invitation. Subscribe to the channel and share your opinion in the comments, not only to help this video reach more people, but because your voice is essential. Every word you say can bring comfort to someone experiencing the same situation. We are building a community of support, exchange, and hope here. You are not alone, and each comment is a hug that reaches those who need it. Throughout this reflection, we've seen that dementia and Alzheimer's are not just brain diseases, but conditions that impact our entire lives. From the way we speak, walk, remember, to the way we feel and relate. Recognizing the signs isn't about anticipating suffering, but about paving the way for appropriate care to be offered. Preserving the dignity and quality of life of those facing this journey, it's essential to break the silence surrounding this issue. Many families still hide the symptoms for fear of prejudice or the pain of admitting that something has changed. But the more we talk, the stronger we become to fight together. There's no definitive cure yet, but there are prevention, treatment, and support pathways that can completely change how we live with this condition. If you've made it this far, take this message with you. Don't ignore the signs. An early diagnosis can bring not only treatment, but hope. Taking care of your mental and emotional health is just as important as taking care of your body. And when you pay attention to the small signs, you're taking the first step toward protecting yourself and your loved ones.